Hello and thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how I change this burnt or broken outlet. Sooner or later you're going to come across an outlet that's burnt like this or for some reason has to be repaired. So I'm going to show you how we go from this to this. But before we get started, let's go to the circuit breaker box and shut the power to this outlet off. All right, we're at the breaker box and this is the GFI for the bathroom outlet. So I'm going to trip that switch and then we're going back upstairs. All right, now that we have the power off, here are some of the tools that you'll need. A needle nose plier. You may need a pair of pliers, Phillips head screwdriver, and a common head screwdriver. In addition to these, you're going to need a way to check to make sure the power is off on this outlet. You can either use a voltage tester, a multimeter, which all of these should be a part of anyone's toolkit. If you don't have the voltage tester or the multimeter, you could use a lamp and just plug a lamp in to make sure that this is out. Or this is something I rigged up to work on a circuit one time and I didn't want a chance blowing anything out. This is just a Christmas tree light, which I could have just used the wires on the end of it, but I wanted a stiffer wire to do the probing with. This is what I'm going to use right now. To get started, the first thing I'm going to do is check to make sure this is working. And whether you're using this or the multimeter, you always want to check it before you start. And the way I'm just going to check it is to plug it into this extension cord, which is on a different outlet. Shut that light just so see it better. And we can see that it works. We have a circuit tester, such as it is. We know it works. And now to the outlet. I'm going to remove this cover plate. Now I don't know what I'm going to find in here. This is being done in real time. Oh, another thing, whenever I'm working over a sink or a tub or anything like that, I put a rag over the drain, so if a screw should fall, something should fall, I'm not creating another job for myself. Just a little tip. Now we'll take this out. Well, we could test this by putting the probes in first. Nothing. Now let's check this one. Get that in there. Nothing. Okay, now the reason you want to check, and another thing you're going to need is the outlet itself. And the reason you want to check both the top and the bottom, these outlets are generally run off one line. But what you can do is to break the connection between these two screws. And if you do that, you can have one line feeding the top circuit and another line feeding the bottom circuit. This is done sometimes when there aren't any lights in the room and they have it wired this way so you can plug in a lamp. So with a light switch, you could turn this on and off, and meanwhile this one will always have current going to it. So you want to check both top and bottom, because if you didn't install this, you're really not sure. Despite what's written on the panel box, you really don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to get this camera where you can get the best view of this. I'm having a little trouble setting it up in the work area I have. Take these two screws out. Okay. Pull this all the way out now. There we are. Let's see what we have. Okay, now I have a video that I did a little while back where some of the circuits in one room were working, some weren't. Couldn't find out where the break was, and the break was in another room. And the problem was that the wires, see the way it's pushed in over here? Instead of being on the screws, they were pushed into the outlet. This is a better method of doing it, and that's how I'm going to install these over here. Why they use the screws on one side and the plug-ins on the other side, I have no idea. So before I go any further, I'm going to use my test light to make sure that there isn't any current going through this line. This and this. Nothing, nothing, I'll test it every which way. Nothing, nothing. And a little bit's exposed here. Nothing, nothing. So I know the power to this. All right, another tool you may need if you have this set up. If you have enough wire, you could just snip this. But I'm gonna go for removing it like this, and it pulls right out. Same with the other one. Saw in the garage that this outlet has a GFI circuit breaker. I didn't set it up this way. This was done back in 1976. This was all done by an electrician. I don't know if this was the code at the time. May not be the code now, but this is how it was done. If you want to install a GFI outlet in here, I have a link down below in the description where you can order one and where you can put a GFIC receptacle in to replace what you have. If you have a GFIC outlet in there, make sure you replace it with one. Okay, here's the new outlet. I'm going to put a loop at the end of the wires, just like these are over here. I'm going to remove the camera just so I could get in here and work a little easier. When you put these wires on, you can put it on this way. See where that's looped? And then when you tighten it, it's going to close the loop. Now that was the correct way. If you put it on this way, see this loop? It's opposite. When you start tightening this, that wire is going to follow the screw. So the correct way to put these on is with the loop. Get in here. With the loop in this position. Plus you want to tighten this up and get it in the bracket. I'm going to remove the cameras just so I can get this in. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. We'll install it, test it, and see how we made out. All right, I have it all together. Now, I didn't mention this before. You have the black wires, the white wires, and the copper wire. Copper wire, I did mention, goes to the green screw on the bottom. The black wires go to the brass screws on one side, and the white wires go to the silver screws on the other side. I'm going to fold these wires, tuck them in, attach it with the 2 screws, put the faceplate on, go down to the garage, throw the switch, and see how we did. Okay, I threw the circuit breaker. I'm going to unplug this lamp from the extension cord, plug it in here, and see what we have. Okay, lamp comes on, no sparks, we're looking good. Works out of the second one, no sparks, we're looking good. Now keep in mind, I am not an electrician, but if you have any questions or comments, post them down below. I'll try to answer your questions to the best I can. If I don't have the answer, I'll let you know. If I know where you can find them, I'll send you there. Simple as this job is, you always want to use caution working with electricity, especially around water. So for now, that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, give it a like. It helps. Take a minute or two and post a comment down below. Even if it's negative, just don't be nasty. It is a family channel. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z button, and not to miss my new videos as I upload them, hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay safe.